time, our goal is to simplify. So what we want to do is take out any common factors. Before we tackle the example that's written here, let's look at a fraction of just numbers. If I have the fraction 14 divided by 21, I know that 14 can be rewritten as 2 times 7. I know that 21 can be written as 3 times 7. Now I have 7 divided by 7, which I recognize is equivalent to 1. And so I cancel those factors because multiplying by 1 does not change the value, and my fraction is simplified to 2/3. I want to repeat the same process when working with polynomial fractions or rational functions. So my first step is to factor. And so for the first polynomial, the one in the numerator, I recognize that I want factors of -12 that add up to 1. And so I write x plus 4 and x minus 3 because 4 times -3 is -12, and 4 plus a -3 is +1. Then I look at the denominator. I see that the 3 and the 9 have a common factor of 3. So I factor out a 3 to get 3 times the quantity x minus 3. Now, just like I had in the numeric example, I have x minus 3 as a factor in both the numerator and denominator. A factor over itself is equivalent to 1, and so it cancels. And so I'm left with a simplified fraction of x plus 4 in the numerator divided by 3 in the denominator. Let's take a look at another example. For this one, my original problem is 21 minus 4x minus x squared divided by x squared minus x minus 6. So immediately I know I'm looking to factor. The polynomial in the numerator is going to be a little bit of a challenge because it's not written in standard form, but it's still factorable. I recognize that factors of 21 will be 7 and 3. Factors of a negative x squared have to be a positive x and a negative x. Now, I need to double check my foiling to make sure that I have the correct sign for my middle term. X times negative x would give me negative x squared. 3x is my middle terms, minus 7x would give me negative 4x. So I'm ready to factor the denominator. This time I'm looking for factors of -6 that will add up to -1. So I have x minus 3 and x plus 2. As I look for the common factor, I notice an x and a 3 inside parentheses, but I notice that these two factors have opposite signs. One has a positive x and the other has a negative x. I can change this by factoring a -1 out of one of the factors. So I'm going to factor this out of the factor in the numerator, but it truly doesn't matter. So I have the x plus 7 times a factor of -1 times factoring the -1 out of the second set of parentheses changes both signs, so I have -3 plus x. In the denominator, I have my same two factors, so x minus 3 and x plus 2. My x minus 3 is the same as -3 plus x, so these factors cancel, and I'm left with negative parenthesis 7 plus x divided by x plus 2.